What's going on, guys? Welcome to January's edition of the monthly check-in. Happy to be back doing this for a third straight year. And today we're going to be talking about setting new goals, especially, since you're starting the new year. I'll talk about, what are my goals for 2026, but also the importance of just being able to do that and kind of have a fresh start. But before we get into that, let's get into my 3 monthly picks, 3 tracks you should be checking out for the month of January. First up this month, we have a track by one of my favorite singers that I just discovered really in the last 6 months or so, Ariel, who is signed to Mellow Music Group. She dropped a song at the end of November called Marigold. And I'm just a very big fan of her sound, her style so far from the tracks I've heard. She did an EP called Symphonii back in 2023, and that was her Mellow Music Group. I don't know if it was the official release with them, but I think that's how she got kind of connected with them and ended up getting signed to them. And they ended up doing a vinyl release of that EP recently, which I still need to get my hands on. But this right here is from her next project that's currently in the works. She dropped a song called Oxygen the month before, and this new song, Marigold, it fits her vibe totally well. Very soulful, very melodic. I love the production. I believe it's the producer that she's worked with on some of her past work. I don't know his name, but I love his production style, incorporating a lot of guitars, a lot of live drums, things like that. So I'm just a big fan of her sound and what she's been putting out. And if you're just a fan of real R&B, someone that has amazing vocals, amazing beat and production choices, I would definitely check out not only this song, but any of Ariel's past work, and be on the lookout for whenever her new project is coming out. It might even be out by the time this video drops, but it will be through Mellow Music Group, and I think she's one of the only R&B soul artists signed to Mellow, because usually when you think about Mellow, you think about producers like Eloquent or Apollo Brown, people like that, or you think of MCs like Odyssey, who have been signed to Mellow over the years. But I like how they are venturing out into other genres and finding different people that are very talented. So definitely give Ariel a listen and check out this one called Marigold on all platforms. Next up, we have a track from Maroof. He dropped his album Melodic back in, I believe, mid-October, maybe early October, somewhere in there. The song that I like the most from this project is called Love from Afar, featuring Fouché, who I'm familiar with her work based on her collaboration with Vince Staples a few years ago. So I was familiar with her. She does the vocals on this. She does the hook and the outro vocals as well. This song is just a very nice, laid-back, mellow type of anthem. And it's something that I feel like I could kind of play in my car on the way to work, early morning, or just, even cruising at night to this song. It's really, touching on having love for someone, but not being able to be the person that you want to be for that individual. And the best thing to do sometimes is to love them from a distance. And I could definitely tell the story that he was trying to paint lyrically. And I felt like this was definitely a song that was close to him personally. I could tell whatever his story or whoever he was talking about was definitely something that really happened to him. And you can just tell that in the lyrics. But I just love the beat. I love the way this whole thing comes together. And like I said, this is probably my favorite from this project. PT Cruiser with SZA is obviously the big one that's been making its rounds on the internet currently. That's another one of my favorites, but this whole album, very solid. He did an amazing rollout for Melodic, and Maroof is just one of my favorite MCs currently, kind of on the rise. He's been around for years, but I feel like he's just now getting to the point where people are starting to notice him on a more grander scale. So shout out to Maroof, and definitely check this one out. Like I said, the song is called Love from Afar, but the album itself is called Melodic. It's 12 tracks. Definitely go check that out. And finally, we have a single from Kalen Ellis, the phenomenal producer, instrumentalist, someone I've highlighted on this segment a few times. He dropped a song called Come and Go featuring Mick Jenkins and Saba. at the end of November as well. And this one, I believe, is gonna be part of his next solo album. He had Saba on the last album he did, I do remember that. So I feel like this would be a perfect fit for whatever that is gonna be. He hasn't, at the time of this recording, announced any album yet, but he said he's working on it. He hasn't announced it or the title or anything like that, but I could definitely picture this one being on there. I mean, if you've heard Kalen's production, you know what to expect there. And I really like how the hook was done on this thing. I love the verses from both Saba and Mick Jenkins. And it's just a nice little loose song to kind of just vibe out to. But I would definitely give this one a listen. And if you haven't checked out Kalen's other work, please do that. Amazing instrumental albums out there that he's done. The collab with Iman Europe that we highlighted a few months ago, incredible album. And just everything he puts his hand into, I usually check out to some degree, because he's definitely a big inspiration on me and what I do as a musician. So definitely go give that one a listen. And I hope you guys enjoy all three of these to kick off the year. All right, so today all I wanted to do is kind of highlight the importance of setting new goals. When I think of the new year, I think of ways that I can improve, ways that I can get better at whatever I'm doing. And a big part of that is being very clear about the goals that I have as a creative. For me personally, I think three of my biggest goals are: one, I definitely want to be able to spread listenership this year. I want to be able to grow a fan base, which has definitely started over the course of these last couple projects that I put out. But I want to grow even more through doing collaborations with artists, through working on some different things that I'm working on currently. And that's a big goal of mine, is to get more, get more fans that aren't tied to music in any type of way. You know, I think it's easy for artists to support other artists, and that's really cool. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of us are looking for fans that have nothing to do with music. They just are fans of music. They don't make music themselves. So that's really a goal of mine, is to get fans that have never met me, I don't know them, they come across my stuff and they just enjoy it as a fan, and not necessarily because they also make music themselves, if that makes sense. Number two is to drop not only the instrumental album that I have coming in the summertime, but hopefully also release my compilation album that I've been working on for the last 6 months. In the finalizing stages of that right now. Still need to get it mixed and mastered, but I'm really hoping to not only drop it, but I want to do a really nice rollout for this project, because I feel like this project has a lot of potential to reach a lot of new listeners and really just have an impact on where I'm at this time of my career and where I'm headed from here. I think it just has been a very amazing process to put together and to have the individuals involved who have been involved. And I'm just excited to kind of tell the story of how it came together and really just kind of paint a picture surrounding the theme of it and what it's all about. So I'm definitely excited about that as well. And finally, I'd say the third goal for me is financial consistency within the creative stuff that I do. And for the most part, that just means, being able to diversify more, be able to make more passive income, but also just have it be more consistent. I think the last several years for me, I've made a good amount of money, still not as much as I'd like to make by any means, but the biggest problem is that none of it is very consistent. It comes, 1 month you're gonna have a lot of income, the next month you might not have any, or you'll have very little. So it's like I'm trying to figure out ways to make that more of a reality, where I can have consistent income almost every single week, have something coming in, whether it's passive income or projects I'm working on or whatever. And a lot of that has to do with me, developing myself as an artist, not just as a producer, but still doing the paid work that I would do, commission stuff as a producer as well. So just trying to figure out how to diversify and get more consistent with making money is a big one for me. Again, I've always said that I'm not gonna ever stop music regardless of the money. But I still have that goal there. That's still something that I personally want to do, because it helps me even more to be able to fund what I'm doing. I have 2 jobs, but on top of that, who's to say that those jobs can't go away, but also who's to say that that extra income doesn't help, you and what you're doing? It always does if you're able to allocate it the right way. So looking forward to hopefully doing that and having an even bigger year financially than I did last year. And I guess I give this to you guys just as kind of a point to make, to say, those are my 3 goals. That is what I've already identified as being the big things I want to focus on in the year. And there could be more goals. There could be little like subplots almost that happen that I want to focus on. I know another thing is I want to do a lot more interviews this year. I want to be on podcasts. I want to be able to tell stories, and I want to be able to keep my show going as well. So that's another big goal. I think just getting very clear about what you want to do is a huge step. And I know a lot of people's New Year's resolutions are something along the lines of that. And I think once you get clear about those goals, you write those goals down. We've talked about before how important it is to write things down, because it lets you see visually, what that goal is and how you can achieve it. And even if it takes longer than the year, if you start now, you're going to get there a lot quicker than if you start tomorrow or the next week or the next month. And if you keep telling yourself that, you're going to keep pushing it off, and it's never going to be a thing. So I think the biggest thing is to be proactive with these goals that you have. First identify, then be proactive, and just start getting to it, and you'll see the wins. And definitely let me know in the comments as well, what are your goals? Could be 3 goals, could be more. Let me know what your goals are for 2026 and how you are looking to achieve them. And I'm definitely excited to hear about your wins and hear about your goals and all that sort of thing. And maybe at the end of the year, we'll do like a recap on these goals and see like, how did I achieve these goals, or how did I progress on these goals? And I'd love to know how you guys also progressed on your goals during the year. So good luck to all of you. And I just wanted to kind of make this today to kind of get us off on the right foot to start off 2026. And before we go, obviously got to highlight a few different things. First, I guess I'll talk about some of the music that's coming up. I have an EP with Beatmology that should be out by the time this drops, but it's dropping, I think, the 2nd or 3rd week of January. It's called Homemade Soups. And this month I also dropped the French Onion Behind the Beat video. It's from that EP. But brand new 4-track EP. I got Strappa on there, amazing saxophonist. He's the only collaborator. But this is the 4th EP I've done with Beatmology. Shout out to them. And this is just kind of a nice fun thing I did. Because what hits better in the wintertime than some homemade soup? And that was kind of the thought process behind it. So, last year I did the Fresh Mints one. And this is kind of like an unofficial sequel. I might keep doing these food things. They're kind of fun to do. But shout out to Beatmology for partnering with me. And I'll put the link for this project in the description. Definitely check it out. Just some wintertime beats to vibe to. I'll also reveal for you guys right now the title of my next instrumental album. It's gonna be called Mural of a Sober Introvert. And I'm gonna start the rollout for that here in the next couple months. I believe the first single is gonna be dropping sometime in the spring, and then the actual project will be out this summer. So be on the lookout for that, but that is the title. I'm gonna be unveiling that on social media here, probably in the next few weeks as well. But I'm very excited. This one is gonna be more of a reflection on myself as far as like sonically and the theme behind it. It's more about me. I feel like the last few ones that I've done are just kind of loose themes that are more relatable to every single person. I hope people can relate to this and the story I'm trying to tell with it. But it is more of a reflection on my own journey as an individual. So be on the lookout for that, and I'm very excited to present that to you guys starting with the rollout here in a few months. And finally, I didn't get to highlight this on the last monthly check-in that I did, but a huge win for me at the end of November. I was actually featured on Bandcamp Radio's The Hip Hop Show, hosted by Stony Creation, a show that I've been listening to for a while now. Avid fan, avid listener, and I got my track Immunity from Leaves and Soil featured on that episode that came out on November 28th. I forget the artists that were being interviewed. It was a group, but I think their name is Tomorrow Kings, maybe. But they were getting interviewed about their album, which I think is called Salt. And during the interview, if you check out this episode, you'll hear My Beat Immunity. So basically what they do on this show is during the interview, they're playing an instrumental and they keep repeating the instrumental between segments. So what I did was I knew this was a thing based on being a listener of the show. So I found Stoney's email. I ended up sending her the project, I think the night before it dropped. So maybe like a week before this episode dropped. Sent her an email, said, I kind of just explained what the project was. I was like, there's no vocals on this, it's instrumentals, but hopefully you enjoy it. I kept it concise, maybe 2 sentences, sent the email, and I didn't hear back. I put it in the back of my mind. I'm like, I'm just gonna send this and just forget about it because you're probably not gonna hear anything. Nothing's probably gonna happen from it. Didn't hear anything. Still never got back to me on the email, but the episode premiered the next week and I still didn't think anything of it, but just as a fan, I went in, listened to it, and I look at the track list and then I see me in there and I was like, oh my God, like I just lit up, like for real. Like I'm not someone that gets super excited about stuff like that all the time, but that really just was a huge thing for me. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't think it's a super big deal at the end of the day, but for me it is. Like it's a personal achievement for me because I'm just such a huge fan of that show, and even to get played like during the segment is such a big thing. And you know, from there I've seen a lot of followers come in on Bandcamp and a lot of listenership for sure. So I think, you know, that opportunity is something that is a huge one. And I want to say again, I thank them on social media already, but thank you to Stony Creation, first of all, for even listening to this project of mine, and then to Bandcamp as well for the opportunity, because I don't know, I feel like that is not something that everybody gets to do. You know, even if people send in music, you're never guaranteed to even be listened to by people, let alone, you know, put in the show. So if I never get in again, I can always say I got in one time to the hip hop show. But it makes me definitely excited for what's next and the rollouts and the planning I'm doing for the next few projects. And I'm definitely going to be sending more music to Bandcamp. Hopefully I get in more episodes, but again, if I don't, I just want to say thank you to Stony Creation. Thank you to Bandcamp for the opportunity. And once again, I'll leave you guys the link in the description if you want to check it out as well. Now, I'm not sure if it'll take you directly to the episode, but if you click the link, it'll be Bandcamp Radio. Scroll down to where it says November 28th, the hip hop show. And again, I believe the artists being interviewed, their names are Tomorrow Kings. So it's that episode, and you'll hear My Beat Immunity in that episode. So again, amazing opportunity. I'm still just very grateful and appreciative of it. And I think if anything, it shows that you should always shoot your shot. You know, sometimes I even get in my own head where I'm like, sending this email is just a waste of time. Like sometimes I tell myself that. I'm like, it's you and thousands of other people sending emails. Like, what are the chances you're even gonna get anything from this? But this is a prime example of why you always should send that message or reach out to that person, because you just don't know. You really just don't know what's gonna happen, and you might be blocking yourself from your own blessings if you don't reach out. And I'm definitely taking this one in full stride, because it shows that there's so much opportunity out there, and it shows that the work that I've been doing is paying off too, and people are starting to notice, which is also very humbling for sure. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that today, because if anything, it means that if you are experiencing, you know, blocks of saying, oh, I shouldn't reach out, I don't think I'm ready, whatever, like, start jumping into these opportunities and seeing what comes from it, because you just don't know. So yeah, pretty awesome opportunity, and thank you again to Stony and to Bandcamp for the play. I know that was a bit long, but I wanted to kind of kick the year off right. You know, I wanted to kind of kick the year off with some energy, get you guys excited, get you guys going. And again, let me know in the comments what your big goals are for 2026 and beyond. And I'm excited to start knocking out these goals with you guys in the next few months, next 12 months, I guess. But we will be back this time next month with another monthly check-in. I'll be going to NAMM here in like a couple weeks. Very excited about that, so I'm going to probably be recapping my experience at NAMM. But until then, we will see you in February. Stay safe, stay positive, and we'll see you next time.